Beautiful Jamaican people, good evening to you. You know, when I first heard about the Gregory Park's fire, wildfire that took right flat to the ground houses in Gregory Park, sections, I suppose, of Gregory Park. Initially, I thought it was some sort of maybe an electrical wire, cross wire, some defect, some malfunctioning went on in the home, or maybe somebody, probably lit the place. But I really thought it was a case like that. I never knew it was arson. I never knew it was arson. You know what broke my heart even further? Beautiful Jamaicans. When I'm watching something on Instagram, the young lady, talking to the Prime Minister and Terry Long there. And she's relaying the entire saga. And when she mentioned that you had 3 women who were part of the arson, I could hardly catch my breath. Because there's some universal thing I assume with us as women. There is something about almost, when you talk about self-actualization, I don't really like that term, because sometimes it has this feeling that it is devoid of God. But for you to understand the gravity of what I'm talking about, when you get to own your own home, even if you're renting, there is something about it that it brings a different level of joy and bliss to a woman to know that she has accomplished something great and grandiose. The 3 basic necessities we were taught as children are food, shelter, clothing. And let us say maybe your clothing it gets tattered and torn. Your neighbor, a family member, a stranger can help you and give you some clothes. Maybe some hand-me-downs. Somebody can literally carry you and get to go shopping. Because pound for pound, there's no comparison with buying even the cheapest house versus buying clothes. And we're not talking about no high-end clothes, that value. We're talking regular clothes now, people. Let us keep it, sensible. So it'll be easier for somebody to find some money to buy your clothes than to buy your house. You realize that a number of Jamaicans cannot even buy a house because of how it may not be. A lady said to me, it's not that it is expensive, it's just that we're not paid enough to afford the house. So whichever way you want to look at it, whether it is expensive or we're not paid enough. All right. And food, people can donate food to you. That's 1, 2, easy. Beautiful people, to consciously set ablaze somebody's home, there is a different and a deeper level of evil that your heart has been submersed into. Like when you have those Christians and you have some who are just deeper in God, like a David, who was considered a man after God's own heart because he praised God. Although sometimes he really complained. He had some serious concerns. Let us put it that way. Daniel too could have been considered that way. And Moses, deep connection with God. Abraham was considered a friend of God. They have to have some sort of deep connection with the devil himself to do this. Now, people, one of the things I try not to do, note my word, try is the operative word not to do, is to cast aspersions, to pass judgments, because we don't know a situation. However, beautiful people, listen to me. The problem that I have with some of us, we act as though we're the only ones that people will create problems for. Meaning, let us say the houses that were burnt down, you may say hypothetically it's well deserved because you don't know what these people did to others. If I were one day I'm going to give a testimony of what people have done to me. And people, you know what I do? Either me go up on my knees, or me stand tall, or me in my car, me pray, me bawl, me cuss to God, talk to my mother or a great friend, and say, why? God, why would these people do me wrong? God, I'm hurt, I'm angry. If I feel any feeling that is not even godly, I put it before him and say, God, change these feelings. Even though they did me wrong and I think they warrant it, change it. There are some things, there is no excuse. The lady said she had to grab her child because her child could have been burnt to oblivion, could have been burnt to nothing. The children could have been burnt. Did you see what happened in Maui, or however it is pronounced, in Hawaii? Lahaina? That entire city burnt down? I couldn't even rewatch the video because I can just imagine the pain. You feel like, they probably feel like somebody is actually peeling their skin off their body, and worse, and then throwing alcohol on it. You must understand the pain that I'm talking about. To lose your home, to lose everything, and having to beg people to give you food, to maybe to pay a bill. Well, maybe I'm not talking about like light bill or what, because everything burned down. We're talking about maybe some loan or whatever it is, to buy food, to buy clothes, to survive for your child. And women were a part of this. Women were a part of this atrocity, this evil. My God, the Jezebel spirit is real. It is real. The Jezebel spirit is real. And many of you will not understand until the very same knife that stick goat come and stick the sheep. But guess what? It's not the same knife is going to be used, It's always something more deadly and dangerous. That is why, you see, seeds, I don't think people understand the power of seeds. When you plant a seed, I remember when my mother mentioned planting her mango tree, and she planted her apple tree. And when I look at when it bears fruit, at the time that it is scheduled to bear fruit, sometimes you sit and you wonder, can this magnolias, this gigantic tree, or these gigantic trees produce so many fruits and get so big from one tiny or few little seeds? Even if it is a tree, just something, a little bud. And to burn down somebody's house, a fleet of houses. Let me tell you, man, it makes, for me, prison really won't work, but you have to really face some consequences. So we have to go by the laws of the land. But it's God I want to hold on and beat to no go and beat to no come. Honestly, I'm not wishing bad. That's not wishing bad. The Bible, I can liken it onto if the Bible says, be careful not to spare the rod and spoil the child. We're talking about discipline beating. I'm not talking about killing you. I'm talking about causing you to learn a lesson and paying for your wrongs. It is not even about penance. But I don't think you guys understand the magnitude of what you have done. And you could have killed people. You could have killed children. Innocent lives. What excuse do you have for that? You might say you don't care, but you will care. Listen to me, perpetrators, arsonists. You will care. I guarantee you, as my soul liveth and the Lord lives, you will care. You will regret it. You're not getting away with it. Even if the laws of the land, the law enforcement, they don't catch you. You cannot escape God. You cannot escape the living and true God. Some of you feel like like God gave you the keys to human life and gave you the keys to do anything you want. There's a door that's called do anything I want without any consequences. Which song you think sing like that? May God help you know. That's all I can tell you know. May God help you know. Guys, follow me on TikTok. subscribe to my YouTube channel and share this message.